Hey, it's Angry Bill for Prehospital Wisdom. Hey, I'm packing up for my next set, and I got this feeling that I'm forgetting something. I don't know if you ever have that feeling. There's just like this little voice that's telling me that you're forgetting something, but it's not like a voice in my head, like a Jiminy Cricket conscience or something like that. It's just like this little tap on my shoulder, just the tiniest little thing, just a whisper, just a feeling, right? That little voice is my feeling. Sometimes I get that on calls. So I've learned to use that when I get that on calls. I've learned that I need to process what's going on there because it helps me to be a better provider. Let me tell you what I do and see if I can help you to be a better provider for your patients too. One of my big problems can be illustrated by the fact that one of my nicknames is Angry Bull. It comes from the fact that I and you are right next to each other on a keyboard, and so I can typo my name wrong and it comes out as Bull sometimes. But also sometimes that's how I end up living life. Like there's a lot of situations where I'm just kind of bulling through it full steam ahead. Sometimes that happens on EMS calls too. And it's not always a good thing. So have you ever, for example, gotten an address that you need to respond to and you look it up and you're like, wow, that's entirely on the far side of the district. Like I wouldn't think that we're going that far. Oh well, full steam ahead, and you just like go for it. No, there's that little voice that was saying something's not right. You got the address wrong or something like that. You got to listen to that little voice. Or do you ever know of someone? It's never happened to me, of course. But do you ever know of someone, heard in the grapevine that someone was running a drunk patient? They're just drunk, they're just intoxicated. And then they got this little feeling that like, doesn't seem all that, this isn't quite fitting. There's this little tap on my shoulder. Excuse me, on the hypothetical person's shoulder. So there's this little tap, this little whisper, like it's not right. And if I'm bulling ahead, if I'm saying full steam ahead, I got this, I'm Angry Bull, I'm gonna miss that head injury. I'm gonna misinterpret a hyperventilation and miss the PE. There's some little laceration that's actually a stabbing. The little voice in my head knows. The little voice in your head knows too. There's this common sense feeling. You can call it gestalt, or you can call it common sense, or you can call it whatever you want. But my little voice is smarter than me, and I bet yours is smarter than you. When you're feeling uncomfortable about something, when you're on a refusal that's gonna not let you sleep tonight, even in simple things, like when you're leaving work, feeling like you're forgetting something, and then an hour later when the sun comes up and you're heading eastbound and you remember where your sunglasses are. Your little voice knew you were forgetting your sunglasses. The trick is to pay attention to that little voice, that feeling of uneasiness, that feeling that you're missing something. It's really similar to having a partner question you. Right? Sometimes your partner's wrong and is like, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. But when your partner questions you, you really want to give this patient that medicine, or are you sure about that, or whatever? Pause. Use that as a sign. You got to pause and think. Someone's on the wrong path here. I got to realign my understanding of the call with reality, with what's actually going on. I can use that little voice just like a partner questioning me. And often when my partner says, are you sure, Bill? They're right. And often when my little voice is giving me a little tap on my shoulder, a little whisper in my ear, that little voice knows. So what do I do when I feel uneasy? When I'm feeling like that little voice is giving me the tap on the shoulder? There's 3 parts to it. Number 1 is pause. Stop making decisions. Stop going down that path. If you're lost and your little voice is saying you're lost, don't go deeper into the wilderness. That means pause treatments as well. I'm not saying to pause interventions. There's a difference between an intervention, between intervening in something like opening an airway and a treatment like Zofran or something like that. So first of all, pause. Second, make sure that what you're doing is aligned with reality. That includes asking yourself what's going on, paying attention, digging down into that little voice that's tapping you on the shoulder, but also asking other members of your team, asking your partner, asking the first responders, asking other people around what they think is going on, what you're missing. Make sure that you're on the same page. Make sure that you're interpreting the call the same way. This isn't a democracy, I get that, but having a little bit of input from your other team members goes a long way. Third is always the answer. Collect more data. repeat your secondary, repeat your vital signs, collect more data, figure out what's going on, make sure that your impression of the call is aligning with reality. Because in the end, your little voice is smarter than you are. Or am I the only one? Let me know what you think. Do you have the same problem? Make sure to do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, share. You know how it works. Until next time, this is Angry Bill. Stay safe and pay attention to that little voice.